Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Matt and this is Dr. Tot. Thank you very much for watching. If you like my channel or find it helpful, please like, favorite, and subscribe. But otherwise, welcome to Pre-Algebra. Today we're going to be talking about writing, saying, and rounding numbers to specific decimal points. We're going to start with the foundational set of values that make up our number system, 0 through 9. Then we're going to talk about a distinct set of number names, 10 through 20, that we're going to have to memorize. And then we'll talk about a system that will follow in suit for values up through and beyond 1 billion. These are going to include number block systems into the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, and so on and so forth. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and let me share my screen with you. Okay, great. So first I want to just talk about the foundational one-digit numbers. So these are the numbers starting with 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Notice that 10 is a 2-digit number, and that's because we've rolled over from 9 and started again at 0 in the ones digits. In order to symbolize that rollover, we'd added a 1 to the tens digit. So let's just first of all go through the spelling of these numbers. So like we said, we started with 0. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I hope I don't run into my camera there, 10. Perfect, worked out well. So notice how we rolled over from 9. 0 through 9 are one-digit numbers. 10 rolls over and starts again at 0. The 1 in front of the 0 symbolizes that action that we've already obtained. We've already gone through the set, one-digit sets, 0 through 9, and so this is the number after 9. Also notice the spelling of 4. This is going to be different when we get to the multiples of 10 with 40. There's actually a spelling change that we need to be aware of. So just a little bit of foreshadowing there. If we move on, the second set of numbers that we're going to talk about are 11 through 20. And these have unique number names. These have, most of these have a name ending in the suffix teen. So these are all the teens. Starting with 11, 12, and 13, or 11 and 12 have unique names, obviously, and then we start with 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We roll over. Notice our ones digit there in 19 is 9. So the next greatest value is going to roll over one more to the tens digits, so it becomes a 2, and then we start back over again with the ones digit of 0. So starting with 11, 11 is written as so, and it's spelled E-L-E-V-E-N. Then we have 12, T-W-E-L-V-E. Then we have 13, T-H-I-R, T-E-E-N. Notice the beginning of the teen suffix there. Then we have 14, just write out 4, and then we're going to add a teen to it. 15, which is Fifteen, 16, Sixteen, 17, write out 7, Seven, add a teen, Teen. Then we have 18, write out 8, Eight, and then complete the teen at the end for the suffix teen. 19, write out 9, and then teen. And 20, Twenty. Now, every value after 20, less than 100, is going to have a hyphenated name. This is a naming convention that you need to be aware of, especially when you're writing out, spelling out numbers and writing them out in general. Any value greater than 20, between the tens digit and the ones digit in the name, there's going to be a hyphen. And that's what we're going to see. For example, well, let me just give you one example right here. We'll get into the multiples in a second. If we were to write 22, for example, written out, we would write the multiple of 10 first, which is 20. We're going to hyphenate it, and then write the ones digit of 2. So 20-2. Now for values from 20 to 100, I just want to go through the multiples of 10 here that we're going to see over and over. And let me get some more room here. So we have 20, 30, 40, notice the spelling change here. There's no U in 40, where there's a U in 4 and there's a U in 14. So that's a little tricky there. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. After 90, we would roll over to 100, which would really just literally be written out as 100. If there are any questions at any point, feel free to always drop a comment or drop the comment below. Otherwise, from 100 to 1000, now we're talking about multiples of 100, so it's going to follow the same type of convention, but instead of them being multiples of 10, now we're going to say 100, 200, 300, 400, so on and so forth. Excuse me. So 100 is just spelled out. 200, 300. Notice how it's just taking the first digit, the ones digit name, and adding the convention 100 to it. 100, when you add the word 100, it means 2 zeros that are following. 400. 500. 600. 700. Oops. 800. 900. And then when we go 100 more than 900, we roll over again, and instead we would have, instead of being in the hundreds, now we would be in the thousands. We would have 1,000. Okay, if there's any questions, please let me know. Let me just take a second and go back. Let's look at a few examples of all of these. So if we were to write out, let's say the name, let me scroll up here. Let's look at 36, 48, 51, 73, and 99. So to write 36, I'm going to start with the multiple of 10 that it has. It's a there's a 3 in the tens place, which is representative of 30. Then we place a hyphen between the tens digit and the ones digit. The ones digit here is 6, so 30 hyphen 6. I put quotes around that. I'm not going to do that for the rest of the the rest of the names. However, that's just a standard convention that you can use at your pleasure. 48, write out the multiple of 10, put a hyphen, then write the ones digit. So 48. 51, write out 50, hyphenate it, adds the ones digit of 1. 73, same thing. The multiple of 10 is 70, hyphen 3. And 99, the multiple of 10 is 90, hyphen 9. Oops. If we look at some examples here, let's look at 247, 571, and 683. So we would write this out, starting with the multiple of hundreds, 240, and now in between the tens and the ones, we need a hyphen, 7. For the second one, we would have 500, 71. And for the third one, this would be 600, 80, hyphen 3. Quick note, try to avoid using the word end in a whole number. End is used to indicate the decimal point, and I make this mistake all the time. I might have made this mistake already. But technically, try to withhold from the temptation to say end in the word name of the number. End should be used when we are talking about decimal answers, and we'll talk about that in a later video, or those values in a later video. Now let's just look at some examples of 1,000 to 1 million. So let's look at this number. Let's look at that number. Well, actually, we want up to 1 million. So actually, let's look at those three numbers. That's a good start. So the first one, we have 1,234. So start with the thousands digit, write it out, 1,000. Now, anytime you see a comma in the number, you're also going to have a comma in the word name as well. So there's a comma between the 1,000 digits and the 100 digits. So we're going to have 1,000, comma, 200, 30, remember hyphen, 4. The second one, we have 12,000. Comma, 300, 40 hyphen 5. And for the third number here, we have 123,345. So we have 120 hyphen 3. Notice that even when the tens and the ones digits are technically in the thousands, these are in the tens of thousands, 23 is in the tens of thousands value, we still hyphenate it. So that's going to occur even when we're talking about just multiples of 10, or when we're talking about multiples of 10,000, or when we're talking about multiples of 10 million, or when we're talking about multiples of 10 billion, so on and so forth. You're always going to have that hyphenation in the name. So 123,345. If there's any questions, please let me know. 1 million to 1 billion. So let's look at this guy. Let's look at this number. And this number. Okay, the first number here would be read 3,578,918. So, actually I'm going to need some more room here. These are large numbers. So, start with the largest digit, that's in the millions, so that's going to be 3 million. Notice the comma after the 3, so we need a comma after the 3 million. 578,000. Notice the hyphenation between the 70 and the 8, and that's in the thousands, comma, 918. Now notice here, 18 is one of those distinct number names between 10 and 20. It doesn't carry a hyphenation in its name. It has its own unique name. So 18 would not be hyphenated. The second example, and let me get some more space. We have 48,192,643. So start with 48, which is hyphenated. So we have 48 million, comma, 192,000, comma, 643. If there's any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, let's look at this last one here. We have 789,175,309. My apologies, that confused me there. So we have 789 million 789 hyphenated 80-9, and that's in the millions, comma 175 hyphenated thousand comma 309. Notice there's no tens digit there. Well, there's a tens digit of 0 there, so we don't pronounce the name of it because it's just ending with a digit of 9. So it's 309. If there's any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, let's go ahead and identify some decimal places here. So I'm just going to list out the actual name of all of these decimal places. Now, the decimal places to the right of the decimal point, we're going to talk about in another video, but I'm just going to introduce their names here. So this is the ones place. The 8 is in the tens place. The 7 is in the hundreds place. The 6 is in the thousands place. The 5 is in the ten thousands. The 4 is in the hundred thousands. The 3 is in the millions. The 2 is in the 10 millions. And the 1 is in the 100 millions. The 0, the 0 here is in the tenths. And notice the difference in the endings here. We used to end in just S, now we end in THS. So we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, ten thousandths, hundred thousandths, and then lastly, millionths. And this guy, that 100,000s, let me try and move him up so you get the ending there. I apologize, my screen is in the way there. If there's any questions, please let me know. Just move that up a little bit so you can see the ending there. It's just thousandth with the THS at the end of it. But I think my camera was covering up, so I wanted to move it. All right, so now let's look at some examples. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Please write the name for the following numbers. Okay, so looking at these three numbers, first of all, we have 1, so we know that's just the single digit O-N-E, 1. Then we have 31, so start with the multiple of 10, that's 30, T-H-I-R-T-Y hyphen 1, O-N-E. And C is 231, so write out 200, write out the multiple of 10, which is 30, hyphenate it, add the ones digit of 1. If there's any questions, please let me know. I'm going to give you about 1 minute. Please write the number associated with the word name 4,385. Okay, so looking at the word name, remember the commas are going to correspond exactly in the word name as they do in the number itself. So start with the largest value, 4,000. So 4, comma, and we know that the thousands place is 3 places, there's 3 decimal places to the left, to the right of the thousands decimal place. So then we have 385. So 385. If you have any questions, then please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Please write the name for the following numbers. About 1.5 minutes. I'm going to give you a little bit more than a minute. Okay, so let's look at these 4 numbers. First of all, and it's kind of coincidental, the 4 numbers and the first number is 4, so F-O-U-R, 4. Then we have 74. This name's going to be hyphenated because we have a tens and a ones digit here. But we have 74, so write out 70 hyphen 4. C, we have 874, so start with 800. And then 70 hyphen 4. And D, 6,874, start with 6,000. Now there wasn't a comma here, there should have been, but we know that after the thousands place there needs to be a comma. So 6,000 comma 800 70 hyphen 4. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll give you 1 minute. Please write the number associated with the word name 5,828. Okay, so 5,000, start with the greatest value all the way to the left, 5,000, so 5, comma, 800, 828. So 5828 with a comma between the first, the 5 and the first 8. Now let's talk about rounding numbers. So when we round numbers, you need to locate the decimal place to which you want to round. After you do that, you look to the place to the right, or you look to the value to the right, and if that value is 5 or greater, you bump the value up. If that value is 4 or less, you keep the value as it is. So, the first example, I'm going to do the first problem with you, and then I'll give you a chance to try the second one. What decimal place is the 1 located in the number 3,164? So the 1 here, this is in the hundreds place. I'm going to give you 1 minute. I'd like you to answer the second question yourself. And that is the decimal place in the number, what decimal place is the number 5 located in the number 5,276? So in the number 5,276, the 5 is located in the thousands place. Okay, let's look at the next few. I'm going to give you 1 minute. The first question asks, what decimal place is the number 3 located in the number 357,194? And the second question asks, what decimal place is the number 4 located in the number 512,437? I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, so number 1, what decimal place is the number 3 located in the number 357,194? So that's going to be in the hundred thousands. So for 1, that's in the hundred thousands. For the second question, what decimal place is the 4 located in? That's going to be in the hundreds. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd like you to round 16 to the tens decimal place, and I'd like you to round 63 to the tens decimal place. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, so let's look at these two. So to round 16 to the tens decimal place, we're rounding to this spot right here. So we need to look to the digit to the right, which is 6. 6 is 5 or greater, so we're going to bump that up to 20. For the second problem, 63, we're rounding to the tens decimal place. So again, we're rounding to this value right here. The digit to the right is 3. That's 4 or less than 4. So we're going to round down to 60. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know. Let's look at a few more, and then that'll bring us up to the end of class. I'd like you to round 1074 to the hundreds decimal place, as well as 2297 to the hundreds decimal place. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, so let's look at these. So rounding 1074 to the hundreds decimal place, we're rounding to this decimal spot right here. The number to the right of that value is 7, so I'm going to bump it up. 7 is 5 or greater, so I'm going to bump this up to 1100 or 1100. For the second value, I'm rounding to this spot right here. The digit directly to the right is 5 or greater because it's 9, so I'm going to round this up to 2300. If you have any questions, then please let me know. Let's look at 2 more examples, and this will bring us up to the end of class today. So I'll give you 1 minute. I'd like you to round 1231 to the thousands decimal place, and I'd also like you to round 2948 to the thousands decimal place. 1 minute. Okay, so let's look at these 2 problems. 1231 rounded to the nearest thousandths decimal place. So we're rounding to this spot right here. The value directly to the right is 2, which is 4 or less. So we're going to round this down to 1000. For the second value, I'm rounding to this spot right here. The number directly to the right is 9, which is 5 or greater. So I'm going to bump this guy up to 3000. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can feel free to always drop a comment below. There's also my contact information, my social media, and all of the other relevant contact information in the description and in my channel information. If you have any questions, I'm always here for you. Thank you very much for watching. Dr. Tot, you want to get a cookie? You want to say goodbye to everybody? Come on, let's say goodbye. Come on, can you say sit? And give a paw, say goodbye. It's a good boy, very good boy. All right, thank you guys very much. Ooh, you had to burp. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you all soon.